So I've been using the Sony ZV-E10 for about 8 months now, and with this trip to Japan coming up, there's been a few things on my shopping list that I've really wanted to get for the Sony ZV-E10. Now, some of those things I do think are much more important than others, and none more so than this. So, this is just a charging bank. Now, because the Sony ZV-E10 does have a pretty small battery life, filming on 4K at 24 frames per second probably lasts about an hour of solid filming. Now, that's not really taking into consideration the time it takes to actually dial in the camera settings, which does actually drain quite a bit of battery, I noticed, at least for me. Maybe I'm the only one, but yeah, so you probably will get about an hour before it actually runs out. And I'm the type of person that when I'm out and about, I really just want to film everything, especially when in a place like Japan where everything is just so photogenic. So yeah, I really wanted to get a good power bank before going over to Japan, and this one I've been testing for about the past week. I got it a week ago and it has been amazing. With this, I can pretty much film on the Sony ZV-E10. I tested it plugged in. I filmed on 4K 24 frames per second for an hour with this plugged in at the same time, and it used about 4% battery. And it seems to only output enough power into the Sony ZV-E10 while filming for it to actually just consume this battery rather than overcharging the Sony ZV-E10 battery. Now, when I'm in Japan, I'm not really going to be using it that way. I'm actually going to be using it with these. So I bought these, like a 2-pack of batteries with a charging base from Amazon. This is a Niwa brand and I think they're amazing. They're just as good as the actual battery that comes in the Sony ZV-E10, the Sony brand one. Yeah, definitely recommend those as well. So basically the reason why I got this was basically to just keep it in the bag to charge those 2 spare batteries so as I can just go about my day and film and just never have to worry about any of my devices running out of battery, because this will charge every device that I have, that me and my wife have, multiple times throughout the day. So this is the Anker 737 power bank. Now it is a 24,000 milliamp hour power bank with a 140 watt max. With the 24,000 milliamp hours, yeah, it's just crazy how many times it can charge a device. So yeah, that's basically why I got it, because I wanted to be able to go to Japan without having to worry about anything running out of power. And because I do plan on filming a video every single day that I'm there, hopefully, yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I'm not gonna have to worry about the battery life, because really with the Sony ZV-E10, that's probably the only downside. I mean, even the kit lens is really good for just a basic lens. I mean, I'd love to get a new lens before going, but realistically, with how good the kit lens is, I don't really think it's something that I'm going to worry too much about. The only thing that the Sony ZV-E10's kit lens doesn't really do very well is just low light. Other than that, I think it's a great lens, it's a great camera. There's not really any complaints that I have other than that battery life, which for the price range that this camera is, you really can't even complain about that. I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, you can probably get away with just having the 2 spare batteries, because realistically, this is going to give you about 3+ hours worth of filming on 4K. And you're probably not going to need anywhere near that. But me personally, I just wanted to know that I can go to Japan and film and never have to worry about anything running out of battery. Now, I've had power banks before in the past. I've never actually had a big bulky one like this, and this is bulky. This probably weighs double that of the Sony ZV-E10 itself, but I wanted to have a good charger. I've wanted one for a while. So yeah, that's why I ended up going with the Anker 737, and it can charge up to 3 devices at once as well. It's got 2 USB-C and 1 USB-A port to charge multiple devices with. Now, as I said, there are a lot of things on my list that I would love to get before going to Japan. I did think that I wanted to get some filters for my Sony ZV-E10 kit lens, but at the same time, I do want to upgrade the lens at some point. So I'm a little bit hesitant to go ahead and buy new filters for this lens when I may end up changing lenses and then require different filters. But who knows, maybe I will end up doing it. I know that the next thing that I do want to actually purchase is going to be better lighting. That's not necessarily for Japan or traveling. but it's more so just for filming everyday videos like this, because I really would love to be able to film at absolutely any time and have great lighting rather than have to wait until daylight and still set up a light just in case the sun goes behind the clouds and gives pretty dull lighting. So right now the lighting that I'm using is actually this one right here. Now I actually have two of these lights. One of them is actually in the back there. You can't see it in this one because I'm covering it up the whole time, but it's actually set to like a green color. So these lights that I've been using are Ulanzi, I think it's pronounced. I have no idea. So yeah, these are the Ulanzi lights, and this is the Model I light. It's really small, it's magnetic, so you can stick it to metal surfaces, and it's actually quite bright and has a really good color range as well. I think they're great. They were super cheap. I ended up picking two of them up off from Amazon. I think they were half price when I got them, so yeah, they were super cheap. But I would love to get like a proper light box, but right now I just want to focus on getting maybe a couple more things for traveling. The one other thing that I definitely want to get to go along with this and the Sony ZV-E10 when going to Japan is going to be a camera bag, because it would be nice to have something just for these to be able to carry them around in. I do want to get just like a small camera bag to start, because obviously I don't really have a lot of camera gear to carry around, so just something small to start. I'm not too sure, I'm still looking around. I have seen a couple of good ones from, I think K&F Concept do some small camera bags, like little satchel ones, and they do look really good. One of the other things I like about this power bank as well, unlike other cheaper small little power banks that I've had, is that by pressing the button on the side here, it tells you exactly how much is actually left on there. So yeah, highly recommend this. I've been using it a lot over the past week just to test it out before going to Japan, and I really like it. So yeah, there's not been a whole lot going on this week. I've done a lot of studying. I'm still sort of putting my new study schedule into practice, which has actually been really good. I've learned a lot, picked up a lot of things, and corrected a lot of mistakes that I've been making with Japanese as well, just a few little things. But yeah, been pretty productive study week. I haven't gotten around to filming my study schedule video. I do plan to do that. I was actually gonna wait until I was a month into my new study schedule before doing it, just because I want to be a little bit more familiar with it and make sure that it is working, which so far it has been great. And I'm really enjoying it. I think it's definitely working really well, which actually I'll be coming up to 4 weeks on after this week. So probably this weekend I'll put out a study video on how I have been studying Japanese for the past month and how I will continue to be doing so moving forward. But yeah, this is just a short video. I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about other than this new power bank, which again, really like it. I highly recommend. Obviously not a sponsor, I just bought it on a whim. It was either going to be this one or the U-Green one. There's a U-Green one that's a little bit cheaper than this that has, I think, around the same capacity and is just as fast. Both really good choices. This one was just on sale at the time that we bought it, and yeah, it's been great. Now, I should also mention that I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to power banks. I definitely recommend doing your own research. I just think that having something is definitely going to be needed if you plan on traveling and filming on a Sony ZV-E10, because yeah, it is definitely the one thing that it does lack in quite a bit. I mean, I am still new to cameras, but I have looked at a lot of videos on other cameras, and there are a lot that do have a lot longer lasting battery life when it comes to filming in 4K. But again, for the price point, you're gonna end up paying double the price of what the Sony ZV-E10 is for something like that. So really, for what it is just an amazing camera. And it's actually been really fun to use. I've really enjoyed shooting and filming and editing. It's just been such an amazing journey so far. I have been shooting mostly on HLG3, so the color grading has been a bit of a learning curve for me, but it is something that I feel like I'm getting a lot better at, and yeah, really enjoying the whole process. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I know it's just a short one, but I do hope that you enjoyed it anyway. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.